All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm Jamela Watson-Thompson, the Director with the Center for Service Learning, and we would like to thank all of you all for joining us on this year for our Service Showcase and Celebration. It is our second year that we have done this Service Showcase and Celebration virtually, and we thank you for your continued participation and support. And so on today, we just want to tell you what we can expect in our time together as we celebrate all the wonderful accomplishments and contributions that have been made to advancing community engagement and service learning, including civic engagement at KU. And so with that, I also want to just note that our service showcase and celebration on today is also in conjunction with National Earth Day. And we want to make sure that we're thinking about how we can continue to foster appreciation of our environment and continued awareness. And it's also in conjunction with, for us, what we do in our office. We promote KU Serves Week. And it's really a way to lift up all the great collaborations and support of community engagement that we are able to foster as a campus community. And so also welcome to KU Serves Week. And if you haven't, check out some of the celebratory activities and posts of the social media campaign that we've been doing on this week as well. So I'm going to give a few tips just to help us with our time together. And in that regard, a couple of notes are to just to make sure as we think about what we'll be doing together, that we consider that first we'll have a little bit of time just to do a little bit of mingle. If we were in an actual setting, we would be talking and greeting, and we don't have that opportunity. So we'll do a quick activity. And then from there, our Vice Provost for Academic Success will share with us a little bit in regards to why we're here today and the importance of our engagements. Additionally, we want to make sure that we get to the recognition of some of the great contributors, both in our campus and community, that have supported service learning, community engagement, and civic engagement. So we would do some recognitions and awards, as well as think about an example that Dr. Cameron Piercy will share with us on some of the work that he has done and the recognition that we will have. And then we'll end with an opportunity for our student showcase presenters to be able to share with us in smaller breakouts some of their activities and contributions. So that sounds like a full impact 55 minutes together. And we hope that we know that you will enjoy this time. And so with that, just in this virtual format, we thought it's helpful to consider some ways that we can make sure that we're staying connected and interacting. So just a few tips or considerations for us, if you don't mind, and I'll do it myself in a moment, but I'm just making sure that your preferred name is in your label or your tag. Also just noting your preferred pronouns, as well as your affiliation, whether that's an office or a campus partner affiliation, is helpful. Kate is showing us how we can definitely make sure that we are having some celebratory backgrounds. My background is not very celebratory, I'm sorry. But for others of us that know how to do the virtual backgrounds or filters, please feel free. Additionally, we would like to make sure that we're using reactions. So if there's something that we like or that we want to love, just so we can be engaging together, if we can use our reactions, it just helps us, as well as the chat function, whether it's with each other or just posting public comments for others in the group. So an additional reminder, as we get into our recognition, on this year, we're trying out a kudo board. It's just a way to really help to recognize and encourage those who are getting awards or other types of recognition on the day. So please do, Will or Kate will put in the chat, but please do give kudos to those that we will be recognizing on today. And lastly, if you need, or if it's appropriate, or if you would like to use the caption function, just to make sure that you go to the bottom of your screen and turn it on where you see the CCs at the bottom. So I think we got all the groundkeeping out the way. And so with that, we are going to just do something very quickly to allow us to make sure that we are connecting. If we were generally in a physical environment, we would have by now introduced ourselves and some of that to one another. We know that we don't have time to do that in a full group process, but we would like you just to take a moment, and we're going to use the chat feature. So we want you to identify two people that you either don't know or that you have not connected with in a while, and just greet them, introduce yourself in the chat feature individually. So if this is a one-to-one, but identify two people and individually communicate and say hi to those couple of people. So we're going to give you a moment and then we'll proceed. All right. So a couple of things. We oftentimes have wonderful activities we can engage in, but today we'll just ask you to use the chat again, use the full chat if you can. So we just have a couple of trivia questions for you. You can answer it. We have wonderful Center for Service Learning pullovers that we will mail to whoever puts in the chat first after I ask the questions to answer this question. So let's do them one at a time, and our team will kind of monitor the chat. So first of all, please put in the chat the year that you think the Center for Service Learning was founded at the University of Kansas campus. I'm finding it entertaining, so I'm going to give you all a moment. All right. So I see people still putting it in, but the Center for Service Learning was founded at the University of Campus in 2005. And so Victoria, I think you were the first one that I saw with that response. So let me use my reaction and model. So thank you, Victoria. And then the second question, for those of you who maybe have been around campus for a while or may know, so who is an existing KU staff person, they are not in our office, that was one of the 4 founders of the Center for Service Learning? Thank you, Victoria. It was not Dr. T. So I'll let you keep going. I won't tell the answer. If anyone gets it, then we will come back around that later. And so with that, thank you for engaging in those activities. And I'll let you continue to put that in the chat if you think you have a response. Okay. And so I'll just tell you. So Linda Lucky, Sarah, you got it. So Sarah Parker Crawford, yes, you're correct. So Linda Lucky, who is the Chief of Staff in the Provost Office, was one of the 4 founding colleagues who started the Center for Service Learning. So Linda and Tori, we will make sure that you get your wonderful Center for Service Learning pullovers. Thank you both. All right. So a year in review, really quickly, I'm just going to provide a little bit of an overview in regards to some of the work that we've had the great opportunity to engage in with you all who are here with us on today. And with that, we know that this has been a very interesting year, interesting period of time. Our last service showcase on last year was our first virtual showcase when we were all grappling with how to adapt within the context of COVID. Additionally, if we think about it, we know that we are going through periods where community engagement, meaning how do we collaborate and work with those within our community in partnership with on campus, is a very pivotal time. And so we want to share with you next just a couple of our core values that we think are important during this period. So first of all, with our office and what we try to help to promote with all of you all at the University of Kansas and our Lawrence campus is really thinking through our community and campus partnerships and how we can support both within and across our campuses with our partners, advancing service learning, community engaged scholarship, and civic engagement that really fosters a community that supports participation in ways that advance justice, diversity in a global society. And so in that regards, we just want to just think about and acknowledge that although many of us may not be on campus, some of us may be, but that the University of Kansas does reside on territory of several tribal nations. I will let you read this acknowledgement, but we think that it's very important to acknowledge and think about the land and the space that we occupy as a university. Additionally, we also know in this time of social justice advancement and opportunity, if we think of the next consideration is that really through our office, we hope that working with all of you all, we're thinking about, as we think about our community collaborations and engagement, how we promote diversity and justice in a global society so that we all can help to assure conditions that support a more equitable environment. And so that's a challenge that we take in our office and that we hope through our community and campus partnerships and engagements that we're better advancing for both our students, our staff, our faculty, and most importantly, our partners in the communities that we serve. And so with that as well, just really quickly, a few things to consider with the Center for Service Learning, thinking about a year in review, if we continue. We're very happy that on this year, we were able to have our inaugural Summit on Community Engaged Learning and Scholarship, and we look forward to continuing to support that. On this year, we in partnership with the Commons as well as the KU Libraries. Kathleen Fitzpatrick was our guest who really helped us to think about how to support generous ourselves in that way as well. Additionally, if we go to the next slide, as we consider also what we can do to work with others, we are very glad that the Center for Service Learning has staff and faculty associates, Sarah Goodwin-Thiel, Susan Harvey, as well as Emily Ryan. So thank you all for your continued contributions to our team as our associates. And if we continue to advance, we also would like to acknowledge our wonderful ambassadors, which many of you all represent. Our ambassador programs are ways that we can really just champion for those of us who are on campus with our units or that we might represent, how it is that we can both integrate and support service learning, so the integration within our curricular experiences, as well as civic engagement and thinking about how we maintain a commitment through our training and our endeavors of advancing participation, as well as community engaged scholarship. But on this year, we're very excited. Our Service Learning Ambassador Program has been established for a while, so thank you all for participating. But we also launched our Civic Engagement Ambassador Program in the past year, which we are very happy about and appreciate the support of many of you all in those endeavors. Additionally, in the past year, we have worked with many of you to launch the Community Engagement Consortium. And so that is really an effort to think about how we enhance our infrastructure, meaning our coordination and understanding of our goals and our visions for community engagement at KU. And so once again, we thank the range of representatives and offices across units that really, and campuses that have helped us to engage in those endeavors and partnerships. We also think it's important to note our wonderful student organizations that we have the great fortune within our office to directly advise. And that includes Hill KU, Alternative Breaks, the Center for Community Outreach, Lead Up, Student United Way. And so thank you all for giving us the opportunity to really help to work with you as you advance these very meaningful partnerships with your community partners. So with that, I am going to introduce our Vice Provost for Academic Success, Susan Klusmeyer, and I am going to allow her and ask her to just talk about a little bit of some of the work that we collectively do to think about how we promote service learning and civic action. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamila. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm excited to welcome you to our annual service showcase and celebration coordinated by the Center for Service Learning, which is a unit within KU Academic Success. The purpose of this showcase is really to recognize a year of community engaged work and service at KU. It's also an opportunity for students to share their service learning projects and experiences with campus and community partners. And it allows us to celebrate, recognize, and acknowledge the hard work and dedication of our students, faculty, staff, and community partners over the course of the year to better our communities for a collective future. KU is committed to advancing community engagement, service learning, and civic engagement for public impact. In fact, this work is core to our mission to lift students in society by educating leaders, building healthy communities, and making discoveries that change the world. And we advance this mission every day across our campuses and in collaboration with our community partners, but can always be challenged to further advance our endeavors. KU values our commitment to community and civic engagement, which is evidenced by KU's redesignation in 2020 with the Community Engagement Classification by the Carnegie Foundation. The classification is the leading framework for institutional assessment and recognition of community engagement in higher education. We also participate and demonstrate this commitment by promoting, we also participate and promote civic engagement as a participant in the All-In Campus Democracy Challenge, as well as through the Big 12 Votes Challenge. So we do lots of great work in that space. I want to thank you for your continued engagement with the Center for Service Learning and for your commitment to helping KU advance community and civic engagement. And I would like to also encourage you to continue to share your stories about your work with the Center for Service Learning. This helps us so we can continue to promote and recognize the great community engaged learning, scholarship, and service efforts supported by faculty, staff, and students through community partnership. You can do this in a couple of ways. Obviously, you see Kate is busy engaging us in the chat. We are also very active with the center on social media through multitude of platforms. Then you can also share your stories by emailing the office at csl@ku.edu. And I encourage you to participate in KU Serves Week and use the hashtag KU Serves as you're sharing your stories. Last but not least, I just want to take a moment to extend my thanks and appreciation to the staff in the Center for Service Learning. I have continued to be impressed with their commitment to community engagement, service learning, and civic engagement through their innovative programs, resources, and partnerships. And they've ultimately gone above and beyond in demonstrating this over the last year as we've completely shifted our work and how we think about engagement into this more virtual space. I want to thank them for all they've done and continue to do to support our students. And I really look forward to the new innovations that continue to come forth from this team. So thank you once again for your support and for being here today, and rock chalk.
Rock chalk. So thank you, Vice Provost Klusmeyer. And now that we're going to get into our recognition ceremony and present some of our awards. And so we're very excited about that. But first, we also want to do a little bit of recognition. And so I'm going to give it to Assistant Vice Provost David Gaston.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to share and let everybody know that I'm excited to kind of context to the certificate and certification at KU and the hard work that students have gone into earning this designation. The certificate in service learning at KU recognizes the experiences and work that students do in the classroom that they then go out and put into practice as they meet community identified needs and seek to address those. Earning the certificate involves taking the classes, engaging in volunteer work in the community, and reflecting on that service learning experience, mostly in writing. So it's a great combination of the work that students do in the class, as well as what they then go and show community. Once students have earned the certificate, it is forever noted on their KU transcript, which is a great thing for our students. Last year, we had over 100 students, 14 complete the certificate in service learning. We are in the throes of approving many more students this spring, and students have until the end of the semester, mid-May, to get that completed and get that designation. We'd also like to take a moment and recognize the student certificate recipients, some of whom may be joining us today. Their work affects and influences so many aspects of our community, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time and effort to improve our community and reflective on how you've used your skills and knowledge during your time at KU and encourage you to continue to do that throughout your life and after graduation. We hope that the experience of gaining and earning that certificate in service learning helps shape and deepen your interest and experiences as you move forward in your career and aspire and work toward your career and professional and life aspirations. So thank you all for the work that you've done, not only to edify yourself, but also to improve our community. This will be something that will go with you through your life. So thank you very much, and thanks to the CSL team putting this together today. And I look forward to seeing the rest of the recognition and awards and honors that we see this afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks, David. My name is Kate Kemper. I'm the Assistant Director in the Center for Service Learning, and I'm super excited to be able to talk about our 2021-2022 Newman Civic Fellow. Radi Abdirahman is a junior studying human biology, global and international studies, and African diasporic languages. Radia currently serves as the development director for the Center for Community Outreach and will be transitioning into the executive director role in just a couple weeks, which is really exciting. Radia's experiences as a Somali Muslim woman brings a really unique perspective to service and social justice, and she really hopes to use this perspective to effectively serve through her co-curricular and academic work at KU and beyond. So starting this fall, Radia and just over 200 other Newman Civic Fellows from across the country will be participating in trainings that are going to help them develop effective strategies for social change. And this is a really cool year-long program that Radia is going to be able to participate in. So congratulations and good luck to Radia. I'm going to share some ways that you can connect with Radia, give her some congratulations, and read our press release in KU News. And I'm going to pass it over to Emily.
All right, thanks, Kate. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Roundtree. I am the Associate Director in the Center for Service Learning. I have the pleasure of presenting our Center for Service Learning Awards, and we present these awards to faculty, staff, students, community partners, and this year we added a new award for entire academic departments. Each year we choose one in each category to honor and recognize the exemplary work that's being done in the areas of service learning, community engagement, and civic engagement. And so with that, I will get started, and we'll start on our first award, which is Just Food. Our community partner in excellence in campus collaboration this year is Just Food. Just Food's mission is to end hunger in our community by increasing access to healthy foods, reducing barriers to health and well-being, and cultivating self-sufficiency. Before the pandemic began, about 19,000 residents of Douglas County were at risk for hunger. And in January of 2021, that number was up to 27,400. So over the last year, Just Food has been critical in the fight for food security in our community, and from continuing to support the campus cupboard on campus to engaging in community engaged research projects with faculty and participating in the Food for Jayhawks committee. Just Food has been a really valuable partner to KU during this time. Recently, Just Food just completed a major renovation to their pantry space. These updates have created a welcoming community space that's ADA accessible and better equipped to expand programming and one-on-one client support efforts. So congratulations to Just Food, and thank you for all the meaningful work that you've done this year.
Awesome, thanks, Emily. So I am excited to present our two student awards. Our first award is our undergraduate student award for excellence in service learning. And this goes to Victoria Celli, who spent her applied behavioral science practicum contributing to Thrive, which is a youth violence prevention initiative based out of Kansas City, Kansas, and through tutoring efforts with Lead Up. So from her nominator, throughout her time with Thrive and Lead Up, Victoria has demonstrated excellence in critical thinking, quality reflection, and professional quality work. She's provided helpful insights on the services she's provided for those who will host and promote those same activities in the future. Congratulations to Tori, and thank you so much for all of your wonderful work this year. Our graduate student award, which is a mouthful, Graduate Student Excellence in Community Engaged Research and Learning, is going to Max Bierce this year. Max has served as the graduate assistant for the campus cupboard this year, which has been a huge resource for students throughout its entire existence on KU's campus. Max works really hard to ensure that everyone who visits the cupboard is treated with dignity and respect, and he really centers the marginalized students that need their, see that their needs are met. That's the goal there. From his nominator, Max goes above and beyond to make sure the campus cupboard is a safe, clean, and accessible space for all of its users. He listens to the needs of the community and tailors the space to be a living resource. So congratulations to Max, and thank you so much again for all of your work this year. We appreciate it.
All right, next we have our Staff Excellence in Community Engagement Award, which goes to George Majette. He's the former director of Student Athlete Development, Leadership and Outreach for Kansas Athletics. This year, George has been a critical member of the CSL Civic Engagement Ambassador Program, working to educate and empower student athletes to be a voice for change in their community. Throughout the year, George has supported the Jayhawk athlete movement, which was created with the intent of allowing student athletes to use their platforms to showcase civic engagement. The Jayhawk athlete movement was designed to encourage engaged community activism, voter registration, and informed participation in the lead up to the November elections. First, student athletes learned about the importance of voting and engaging in civic life. And by the end of the election season, the majority of eligible athletes had voted, and many of them in advocacy and to encourage their fellow Jayhawks to do the same. George helped organize a voter registration drive within the athletics facility, and his office communicated with coaches to share information about voting directly to their teams. Student athletes also participated in campus voting activities on election day, as the NCAA noted that no practices or team-related activities could be conducted on that day. So congratulations to George, and thank you for all the meaningful work that you've done this year. Our next award is the Faculty Excellence in Service Learning Award, which goes to Dr. Cameron Piercy. Dr. Piercy incorporates service learning and reflection into his COMS 342 problem solving in teams and groups. So in this class, the students propose a community partner organization to complete a #DoGood project. And then they create a timeline for the project. They provide feedback to one another, report final outcomes to the class, and the students engage with that community partner to serve the community throughout the semester. And they're really encouraged to set their own goals and evaluate their successes. And the projects developed by the students in the course have been really diverse, and it's been really exciting to witness the community partnerships developed from them. Dr. Piercy also presented about his #DoGood project model during our first annual summit on community engaged learning and scholarship in January, and is our featured speaker here today with us. So we'll be hearing him from in a few minutes. But for now, congratulations to Dr. Piercy, and thank you so much for all the really wonderful and meaningful work that you've done this year. Our last award goes to the Engaged Department Award. It goes to the Department of Architecture. So Engaged KU is this new initiative that we started this year in the Center for Service Learning, and it's really developed to support a culture at KU that encourages like the institutional development and advancement of community engaged learning, scholarship, and civic engagement. So Engaged KU has two initiatives. The first is the Big Ideas Incubator, which promotes community and university collaboration through multidisciplinary teams of faculty, staff, and students, and working to address a common problem or issue in the community and with a partner. And the second is Engage KU, the department initiative, which then supports units in promoting and advancing their community engaged learning, scholarship, and service efforts. It really supports units in considering how to further promote community engagement by really considering enhancements to internal processes like faculty rewards and recognition and community engagement. And so our new Community Engaged KU Department Seed Award recipient is the Department of Architecture. They have many exemplary programs and efforts in the realm of community engaged learning, scholarship, and service activities. One this year, they just are launching the KU Architecture and Design Downtown Lawrence Design Center to provide a community-based incubator or hub to advanced community engagement efforts. Another is Dot Agency, which is a community engagement research center that has made a really significant impact on the quality of life in Wyandotte County neighborhoods. The International Association on Research and Service Learning and Community Engagement, IRSLICE, awarded its 2019 Public Scholarship Award to Dot Agency, and that's an international award. It's really a pretty big one. Some of the other engagement that they do is the Kansas City Design Center is a joint KU K-State program operating out of a storefront in downtown Kansas City. The Institute for Smart Cities is a research arm dedicated to understanding how the collection of data can make cities more resilient and livable. The East Hill Construction Lab is a design build program run out of a Lawrence warehouse that at 65,000 square feet is arguably the largest makerspace in the world. So we really look forward to partnering this year with the Department of Architecture through the KU Engaged Department Initiative, and to co-learn and further support the really remarkable work that's being done in the Department of Architecture through their faculty, staff, and students, and collaborating with partners in our community. So with that, I just want to say thank you again to all of our award winners this year. You all are a really impressive bunch. We're really honored to be able to give you these awards. So with that, I will turn it over to Will Cheney, who will talk a little bit about our service showcase.
Hello, everyone. This portion of our service celebration, we are highlighting our annual service showcase, a competition where students across the university participate in a competition where they make a presentation about their service and contribution to the learning community, and where they receive evaluation from some judges who give them feedback, not only about their presentation, but how they can better tell their story about service and community work. I would like to thank everyone who participated. All of this cohort of students did a wonderful job, and all of our judges wanted them to know how impressed they were, not only with their presentation skills, but also their contributions to the community. So it's my pleasure to announce the winners for the 2021 Service Showcase. The undergraduate individual award winner this year is Victoria Celli, and our undergraduate group award is going to be the HEAL KU group, and our graduate award will go to the Lawrence Mass Circle and Gowrie Najaran. And we want to say, I want to take a time to really thank our judges who took time out of their day and their week to consider these students' work and give them really thoughtful evaluation. And this is a real honor to present these awards to these really talented and dedicated students. So thank you.
All right, so now it's my pleasure to turn it over to Dr. Cameron Piercy, who is going to talk to us a little bit about his Do Good projects and his experience with service learning and community engagement.
I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I'm excited that the Center for Service Learning introduced me to a new presentation format I want to try with you, where my slides will automatically advance every 18 seconds. So today, my goal is to talk to you about how community engaged scholarship can be enacted through service learning and teaching, in the service activities, and in research activities. So today, I want to first try to convince you that service learning requires us to have a systems perspective of the world. And then I want to share a little bit about my teaching experience, some engaged service that I've engaged in, and then collaborative research that is ongoing. When I teach Comms 342, problem solving in teams and groups, I argue that service learning is a network process. And so I'll throw up this map of the Lawrence loop and I ask students, why isn't the loop completed, right? And the problem is it requires money, it requires buy-in from the community. And so every action, every step of the loop that is created creates an equal reaction. So actions and systems link and amplify. We also talk about aircraft carriers like the one you see on your screen. And 18 and 19-year-olds run these aircraft carriers, but one screw on that deck could, well, you know, cause a major problem, perhaps in the millions or even billions of dollars. Now, in terms of teaching in Comms 342, I have a project called the Do Good Project, where I tell students, I give them only one instruction, that they need to do good in our community. And I tell them, I don't care how you do good, but I do care that you are improving our community. And so this project leaves them open to many different alternatives. It allows them to set their own goals for what success looks like in doing good in the community. And it invites them to find a project that is meaningful to them as a group. And so this project has been supported in the past by the Center for Teaching Excellence. And in that support, I was able to scaffold out the project into meaningful steps that I'd like to share with you today that help the students think about how they can benefit the community, but they keep that sort of systems perspective in mind to encourage them to be in conversation with community partners, not just acting on behalf of the partner, but acting with the partner. In the class, I introduced the students to the idea that we have sort of competing motivations. Sometimes we're fueled by competition, and sometimes cooperation enables us to accomplish more than we could as an individual. And so in this course, I also tell students that the Do Good project is happening at the University of Oklahoma and Missouri State University, and try to provide them with regular updates about what service learning is happening in those communities as a healthy competitive motivation to continue to work hard in the project. And this tends to work out quite well because these students want to be, to compete with those students. I've also found this semester by doing regular weekly check-ins with the group publicly in front of the entire class, we are able to talk through problems that they face. We're able to see where teams are succeeding and what issues they face and troubleshoot issues together. And so that form of healthy competition has also helped the project. The project occurs in 4 steps. The first step is designed to get students involved in the partner organization. So they pick an organization and they defend that organization as a worthy cause of their time and their energy and their effort in the service learning endeavor. The second step asks, when and how will they accomplish their goals? So here they start asking what that community partner needs, and they map out a timeline for their goals across the semester, including specific goals that they hope to accomplish at each given time in the semester. And throughout this process, I try to coach students on the value of recognizing our own introspective bias. By that, I mean, I encourage students to think about the reality that we really don't know what's happening with other people, and that only through communicating and interacting with other folks can we work to engage in meaningful service learning. The third step is to give and get feedback. So here I invite students to check in with their organization and make sure that they're on the right track. For instance, this semester, a group had raised almost $1,000 for the Lawrence Community Shelter, and they found out that the community shelter was in desperate need of goods at that time. So they instead went and bought goods rather than donating the money. And then finally, for step 4, they report their results back to the class. And so we talk about what are the outcomes that they've generated. Did they meet their goals? If they didn't meet their goals, what can they learn from it and how can they improve in the future? And throughout the class, I try to coach the left side figure here, which is growth mindset, that failure is an opportunity to grow, and that challenges that they face throughout the semester as they're trying to engage in service learning represent an opportunity to learn lessons that will improve their work ability in the future. And in fact, the first time I taught the course, I made this Facebook post about how the Do Good projects largely failed. The project on the left, they had all of these lofty goals about improving mental health on campus. And it seemed like every time they had an event, it snowed. Or every time that they were ready to table, it got canceled for some reason. Okay, shifting gears, I would like to share a little bit about how service learning is mirrored in my service practice and how engaged service has been beneficial to my students in the class and how the class has helped me engage in service opportunities. Of course, during the pandemic, it's been difficult to engage in service learning because we have to keep in mind the health and safety of not only the students and the campus policies, but also, of course, our community. And I'm happy to report that our students have really found ways to tap that motivation. So in class, I share the story of 42 members of a factory who were making PPE, who early on in the pandemic decided they were going to live in the factory. And I also share statistics with students about the amount of people who are willing to donate their stimulus checks over the past year. And what we found is people are really hungry to be involved in their community if they have the means and the resources. And the students have taken to this quite well. So we've written, I think, near 1,000 letters to individuals in retirement communities across groups. And on Monday of this week, I even have 4 letters to service members due to one of my groups that I promised to write. And so it's been a really great opportunity to find new and different ways to engage in service. We've partnered with many people in the Lawrence community, including the Lawrence Humane Society, Just Food, the Willow Domestic Violence Shelter, the Boys and Girls Club. And this has been a wonderful way for the students to be plugged into what's happening in the community and to benefit our community. One way that I've personally been involved, I had a student who had this organization called I Am 413s. And so she made it the center of her Do Good project. The goal of this organization is to build confidence, health, and wellness, as well as help with college prep and leadership development in young women in Kansas City who are in 8th to 12th grade. And as part of this opportunity, Aisha Tyler, who's in the top left, and Shayla Bellamy were both my students. And I've joined the advisory board of this organization because the vision that they cast as part of the Do Good project in class was just too compelling for me not to hop on board and be excited about furthering their goals. I'm particularly proud of their flagship event every year, which is called I Am That Girl. It's held on the 2nd and 4th Saturday in March. And it's just an opportunity for strong female leaders to connect with these 8th to 12th grade students and show them potential paths to their future. Individually, I volunteer my time on Mondays at the KU Campus Christian House. And I often share with students about my partner and I preparing a meal for 50 students or so once a semester on Mondays. And I try to share with them that, you know, service is part of what I do as well. And in fact, it's so much part of what I do. If you see this tree on the right here, this summer, I was hanging off this fire escape while someone much braver than I was hanging out of the tree and cutting the limbs off so they wouldn't touch the roof anymore. And so I've been excited to have opportunities to practice service as well. And finally, I want to share with you about some collaborative research efforts that have come out of service learning. I think we can leverage these community partnerships to advance scientific knowledge, which is of course part of my job description and part of the goals of the university as well. So the primary way that I've done that in the past year would be giving presentations. These presentations on my areas of expertise tend to multiply and begot additional presentations, but I'm always happy to share community engaged scholarship with relevant interest groups. For instance, earlier this year, I was involved with the Missouri Human Rights Campaign. The Kansas Pharmacist Association asked us to come in and give a presentation about feedback in the pharmacy from pharmacy technicians and pharmacists. And we were able to parlay that relationship. Instead of taking an honorarium, we asked for access to the membership. And we were able to create a paper that was recently published in a journal called Human Machine Communication as a result of that. And then right now, we are collecting network data from nonprofits in the Douglas County area and trying to understand how nonprofits have been resilient throughout the COVID-19 pandemic and what their relationships to one another have been. So if you receive a survey from me, I would be so grateful if you take the time to participate. And of course, I'm happy to talk with you any more about this. There's my Twitter handle and my email address. And thanks for letting me share with you today.
So thank you all. We hope that you had the opportunity to learn more about some of the wonderful work that our students are engaged in through their service learning and community engaged scholarship activities. And so with that, we just thank all of you all for sharing your time with us on today in this service celebration and showcase. We also want to encourage you to continue to share your stories with us. And so if we just go to the next slide, you will see that we hope that you will continue to stay engaged with us on our newly launched or formatted website. And so there's a lot of great information, resources, and ways to continue to plug in with the Center for Service Learning, but also more broadly, just championing the work that we do at KU to promote and advance service learning, community engagement, as well as civic engagement. So we hope that you will go to the next slide and look at some ways you can continue to tell your stories. It's very important that we tell our collective story of engagement. These are some snapshots that we've seen on today, but we know that there is so much more that many of us and those that we work with are doing to really help to contribute to meaningful improvement in our community through community engaged learning, as well as research, scholarship, and our civic engagement endeavors. And so with that, please follow the hashtag KU Serves. You can continue to check out one more day of our KU Serves week, and we hope you participate. Additionally, if there are other ways that you want to stay plugged in with our office, you may do so, and always feel free to email us. And most importantly, our office has the great fortune to be able to support and promote this event, but it really is about the shared work that we all do together every day through our learning, our teaching, our research, our scholarship, and our ways of modeling the importance of engagement with our partners and communities. And so thank you. We hope that your year continues to go well, and we appreciate your time on today.